right? So when you are applying some EMF, then electron will flow. The electron will be attracted towards the positive polarity of the EMF. Then you can see that the electron is flowing, right? Generally, you know that electron flow or flow of electrons is current, right? You know this already, right? But when you design a voltage source, when you have a resistor, you always say that the current is coming out of the positive polarity, but the electrons is moving in this direction, but the current is in the opposite direction, right? Can anyone justify why it is like that? You know that flow of electrons is the current, but whenever you are considering some circuit, you are considering that the current is coming out of the positive polarity. Can anyone justify why it is called like that?
Sir, we consider flow.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Hello. Hello. You can unmute yourself and you can answer. You don't need to message.
So can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. The question is, see, generally you know that flow of electrons is the current, right? You know this. Flow of electrons is the current. But whenever you consider some circuit, you consider that this is the circuit and this is the resistor, and you always consider that the current is coming out of the positive polarity. If current is coming out of the positive polarity, you will call this as a current actually. But current is the flow of electrons. The flow of electrons should be in this direction. That means in the anti-clockwise direction, but you are assuming that the current direction is in the clockwise direction. Why it is like that? Actually, the actual flow of electrons in the anti-clockwise, but you are assuming the current direction as a clockwise.
सर
Yes.
सर बिकॉज सर जो इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं सर वो नेगेटिव चार्ज पार्टिकल होते हैं
Can you say in English?
सर बिकॉज द इलेक्ट्रॉन इज negatively charged particle.
Uh,
So when it flow anti-clockwise, then we consider the flow of positive charge is current. Like for calculation purpose, we consider the flow of positive charge is current.
why? That's what I'm asking. Why?
Sir,
Yes.
so initially it was considered that the flow of current is due to positive charges and not negative charges. It was later on discovered that electrons are responsible for the flow of current, and since it was already conventionally established, we consider the direction of current as the like in the direction which positive charges assume to flow. That's why it's also called conventional current.
Yeah. One of your friends said, what she answered is correct. Actually, the flow of electron is the current. So actual flow of electron is in this direction, that is coming out of the positive polarity. Okay. But in the initial stages, what researchers considered is they considered that the current is coming out of the positive polarity. Okay. So in the very later on stage, they found out that the flow of electrons is the current and it is flowing in this direction. That means from negative to positive and not from positive to negative. Since it was very much established well before they found out this condition that flow of electrons is the current, they considered that convention that movement of this positive charges they are considering, but movement of the positive charges they are considering it as a current, but the actual current direction is in the opposite direction. Since in the convention they had considered that the current is coming out of the positive polarity, they still considered as current is coming out of the positive polarity. Okay, just they do not want to reframe it. only for that condition they are considering that the current is coming out of the positive polarity, but your flow of electron is from the negative. So actually the actual current direction is in the negative side, but due to the convention they are following it. They do not want to reframe the sentence, so they are following it. There is no other reason or no other technical reason. They had used for a very long time, so they wanted to continue it further. That's all, nothing else. So here by convention what they had considered is movement of positive charges is as current, but the actual current direction is the opposite. Actually the actual current direction is the flow of negative charges, that is the electrons. So throughout our subject in electrical engineering we always consider the conventional power flow, and it is universally accepted that net flow of positive charges is the current. Okay, that's why we had considered. Okay, so we will go to the next term, that is the next terminology, voltage or potential difference. Okay, consider that you are having a charge, irrespective of whatever the charge it may be. So you are having a charge, moving this charge from one point to another, you would have done some work. Suppose if you are having a charge at position A, you wanted to move it to position B. So you could have done some work to move this charge from one point to another point, right? So that work done in moving a charge, you can call it as a voltage, or in the simple fashion you can say that if you are having an element and if you are having two terminals, this is terminal A and this is terminal B, the potential difference between these 2 points A and B, you can call it as a voltage. Potential difference between these 2 points, you can call it as a voltage. So you can say that amount of work done for moving some charge, so you can call it as a voltage. In the another way you can call that the difference in potential between any two terminals, you can call it as a voltage. Okay, so this is very simple thing that you know it already. Okay, so this we are not going in depth. So now we will just see how to represent the voltage when you are having one as reference and another as higher or lower potential. Okay, let's consider that you are having a device like this and you are having two terminals, terminal A and terminal B. Okay, so let's say this is positive and this is negative, and you are mentioning that the voltage between these two is 5 volt. Okay, so if you are seeing from 5 if you are seeing from A, you can call that A is plus 5 volt higher in potential than B. Okay, when you are seeing from A perspective, you can call that the A terminal is at higher at potential than B by plus 5 volt. Or you can also say that you can also say in the reverse way, if you are seeing from B's perspective, then you can say that the B is at higher potential with respect to A at a magnitude of minus 5 volt. Okay, so here A is with respect to B and here B is with respect to A. Okay, the voltage difference between these 2 points is plus 5 or 5 magnitude you can consider. When you are seeing from the positive polarity, this A is at higher potential with respect to B by plus 5 volt. Okay, so this is plus 5 volt. When you are seeing from B's perspective, this is at the negative polarity. So you can also call that this B with respect to A, you can consider it as a higher potential of minus 5 volt. Now also I'm using the word higher potential. So higher potential of 5 volt. Okay, so that's what I have mentioned with your general terminology. So this positive and negative are generally a reference one or voltage polarity you can call. This VAB can be interpreted as two ways, like how I had said before. So that's what I have mentioned here. So terminal A is at potential VAB higher than that point or terminal B. So this VAB is the potential difference between these 2 points. You can say that this terminal A is at higher potential VAB with respect to the point B or than the point or than the terminal B. Similarly, as I said before, this VAB is at higher potential said it's terminal A. Okay, so this is what we have seen now, and you can also use this. This is just the different circuit. Here what we are different network. Here what we are having is we are having B at the positive polarity and A at the negative polarity. So what will be the difference? Here we are having plus 5 volt. Now when you are saying about the voltage, you can say that B is at higher potential. B is at higher potential with respect to A or than A by 5 volt plus 5 volt. Similarly, you can also say that A is at higher potential with respect to B or by minus 5 volt. Okay, this thing you understand how we are representing it. This we will be using in our further analysis of the circuits. So you understand this clearly how we are representing it. This we will be using often in our circuit analysis thing. Okay, if you have any doubt, you ask, else we will proceed further. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
so can't we say that A is at lower potential than B?
Yes, we can say that. So just a minute. You can say that for this circuit, you can say that lower potential with respect to B by a magnitude of 5 plus 5 volt. This you should be very clear. Okay,
Okay, sir.
is at lower potential with respect to B by plus 5 volt. Earlier we have used higher potential and negative 5 volt. When you are going for mentioning it as lower potential, you should use plus 5 volt. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So let us proceed further. So how we are going to see the current flow with respect to this? Here you are already it is mentioned positive polarity or negative polarity. So with respect to that, how we are going to see the circuit, that it's going to define whether it is a voltage rise or voltage drop. What it means is rise, as the name literally means that there is a rise in voltage. Voltage rise in the sense that it is a literal meaning without any technical explanation. Rise means increasing, voltage is increasing. Okay, similarly voltage drop, as the name literally means that drop in the sense reduction in something. So here we are talking about voltage drop, so voltage is reducing. Okay, so how we are going to define voltage rise and voltage drop? Okay, so let us consider this network which is given in this circuit, given in this. So here what we are having, so here I am having plus here, I am having minus here, and terminal D and terminal A. So let's see, I'm going to travel from A to B like this path. Okay, that is first option. Okay, so as of now, we told that what is a voltage? Voltage is the potential difference between two terminals. So let's consider for time being the voltage or the potential at this terminal A is 10 volt and the potential at this terminal B is 0 volt with respect to some reference. Okay, reference in the sense you can consider 0 as a reference. So for B terminal, we are having potential 0 with respect to the reference 0. Similarly, for A terminal, we are going to have the potential 10 with respect to the reference 0. Whenever you are representing the voltage, it means that you are measuring the voltage with respect to something. Means, suppose if I am having an element, let's say I am having a resistor, I am going to measure this. Okay, let's consider that I'm going to have a circuit. Okay, so this is the circuit. So in this circuit, let's say that I'm going to measure the voltage across these two resistors. Sorry, this resistor, I'm going to measure the voltage. So if I am measuring the voltage, you need 2 points, right? So this point is fine, and this point, let's say this is point A and this is point B, or this is terminal A and this is terminal B. So here we can measure the voltage A with respect to B or B with respect to A. Okay, you cannot isolately measure this voltage at terminal A. Okay, whenever you are measuring the voltage, you can be measuring either VAB or VBA. Okay, so when you are measuring VAB, what you are measuring? You are measuring the voltage at terminal A with respect to B, that is VAB. When you are measuring voltage at the terminal B with respect to A, you can call it as VAB. What I am saying is, when you are measuring the voltage, you should measure with respect to some point or some other reference. That's what we are considering. Okay, so here for VAB is equal to 10 volt, VAB is equal to 10 volt. So we want the voltage at VA, that is VA is equal to 10 volt, and VB is equal to 0 volt. So VAB is equal to VA minus VB. So here we are having 10 volt. Okay, so that's what it is happening here. So what I want to say here is the potential at this terminal A is 10 volt. That 10 volt is respect to some reference, that is 0 volt for time being. Okay, similarly for this terminal we are having zero potential. It is respect to some reference, that is also 0. Okay, so now we will go back. So what we are going to do, we are going to see this is positive polarity and this is negative polarity. You are going to have 10 volt across this. You know that the voltage across these two terminal is 10 volt. Okay, now you are seeing one condition. You are traveling from A to B through this path. Through this path you are traveling. Okay, if you are traveling from this, what we had considered for this A is at 10 volt and B is at 0 volt. So when you are traveling from this to this, you can see that there is a voltage reduction. Earlier it was 10 volt, now the voltage is 0 volt, right? So when you are moving from positive polarity to negative polarity, you are going to have voltage drop. Why I am saying this as voltage drop? You can see here that at this terminal A, we were having 10 volt, that is at the positive polarity. When you are moving from A to B through this path, the voltage has become 0 volt. So in that case, you can see that the voltage is reduced to 0 from 10. The voltage is reduced to 0 from 10. So it means that voltage is reduced. So since the voltage is reduced, I have mentioned it as voltage drop. Okay, so when I am moving from positive to negative, I am seeing a difference in or reduction in voltage magnitude. So I am saying that as a voltage drop. Okay, so in the similar way, we can represent the voltage rise. So when you are talking about voltage rise, it is in the reverse way, nothing else. Okay, so let me explain just a minute. Okay, so same circuit we will consider, and the same potential we will consider. This A is at potential 10 and this is at 0, right? So now I'm moving in the reverse way, means I'm moving from B to A, and you can also say that I'm moving from negative to positive. Now if you see, this is at potential 0, that is 0, and it is going to increase to 10. So you can see that there is an increase in potential. So you can call it as voltage rise. Okay, so this is also important when we are going for circuit analysis. So this you can understand it easily. If you have any doubt, you can ask, else we will proceed further. So voltage rise and drop, you should have understood by this time. If you have any doubt, you can ask. This we later on stage we will just mention it as voltage rise or voltage drop directly. Okay, we will not explain it further. We will just use the word voltage rise or voltage drop. Okay, directly we will use the terminologies. So if you have any doubt, you can ask now, else we will proceed further. Okay, already we have explained about this, I think, time variant and time invariant. Your DC voltage is a time invariant and AC voltage is a time variant. Here, the voltage magnitude is going to vary with respect to the time, so you can call it as a time variant. Whereas for DC voltage, your voltage magnitude is going to be constant, so you can call it as a you can call it as invariant signal or time invariant signal. Okay. So now we will proceed further. Power, there is no nothing new to you. You would be studying this for a very long time. So one thing is generally you would have studied that P is equal to dW by dt, amount of work done per unit time. So this you would have studied. So here you know that P is equal to V into I, that is voltage into current for the DC circuits. So how we have obtained? We have splitted this dW by dQ into dQ by dt. This we have splitted it. This we have already seen. This is voltage, and this is dQ by dt. This is current. Okay. So this is equal to power. This power is called as instantaneous power. Okay. So you can also say that the instantaneous power can be variable with respect to time. I am not saying it will be, it can be or may be varying with respect to time. Instantaneous power can also be varying or non-varying. Okay, we will say why it is in the later on stage. For example, if you are having a sinusoidal signal and let's say this is the voltage waveform, and if the current waveform is also in this fashion, if you are finding the power based on this formula, you will get power is also this waveform will be in the different fashion. Actually this waveform will be like this. Okay, actually this waveform, if you multiply these two, if both are let's say that this is 0, this is 180 degree, and this is 360 degree. Okay, and similarly this is 0, 180, 360, and let's consider that you are having magnitude of 1 for both. So if you have some signal, and if this
So you are not audible.
am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
What did you hear last time?
So the wave pattern.
Okay. Okay. So we have two sinusoids like this, and these two sinusoids is of 50 hertz. And if these two sinusoids are of 50 hertz, one is voltage and the another one is current. If you want to find the power, you can directly multiply with V into I, right? So if you find like that, then the waveform will be like this. It is like a it is sinusoidal only, but it is offset. When it is offset means you are having only positive value here. Okay, even though it is looking like a sinusoidal fashion, it is having only in positive, so you cannot call this as an alternating signal. Okay, why you cannot call this as an alternating signal? Here you have only positive cycle, you do not have negative cycle. So this is not an alternating signal. Okay, so now what I want to say here is, here this is a power value. So you can see that at various instant of time, your power magnitude is varying, right? So this instantaneous power can be, this instantaneous power can be a varying one or invariant, time variant or time invariant. Why I am saying time invariant is, this is for single phase output power. Single phase output power is instantaneous output power is time varying, whereas three phase output power that we will see in the chapter 3, three phase output power, three phase power, even the instantaneous three phase power is time invariant, whereas the single phase power is time variant, and also the DC power is time invariant, means the power is not going to change with respect to the time. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. Why it is like that? For three phase power it is not a time variant, that we will see when we are discussing about chapter 3. Okay, that we will see in detail. Okay, now it is not required to us. So then next is the energy. Okay, okay, so like we saw voltage drop and voltage rise, we saw voltage drop and voltage rise, right? So similarly we are going to assume some sign convention for power. The power can be positive, that is greater than 0, or the power can be negative, that is less than 0. So on what basis we are going to see that? In home you are having something like this, right? Across this you will be connecting your loads. It can be fan or light or whatever, or wine box, you will be connecting, right? So this load, if you are measuring it, even if it is DC, let's consider that this is a DC instead of AC. Actually in home we are having AC. For simple understanding we consider that this is DC. Okay, so now when you are measuring the voltage, this is positive polarity and this is negative polarity. So you will be having positive polarity here and negative polarity here. So if you are connecting some iron box here, the current will be flowing through, but through the current will flow to this path. Let's say this is entering the terminal A and the current is leaving the terminal B. So now let's consider that this is a load. What is the load? A load is a component which is going to punch Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a break, right, in my voice. Just a minute. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I hope that my screen is visible to you. So
Yes,
we are
sir.
discussing about this. So let's consider that this is DC instead of AC. So we are having some load and we are having something like this. This is terminal A and this is terminal B. Okay, it can be of any load. Let's say that this is an iron box. So here it is going to convert electrical energy to heat energy, right? So here, if you consider this polarity, this positive is connected to A terminal, so you can consider it as a positive polarity. And for the B terminal, you can consider that you are having a negative polarity. Now, for this device, the current is going to flow from this to this. Means the current is going to enter the terminal A and it is going to leave the terminal B. So here, whenever you are using some component, it is going to do certain work. Okay, so that device, you can call it as a load. Load in the sense it is going to consume some amount of power or energy in order to perform certain work. Okay, so if you consider this as a load, so you can consider that this as a load, then this is the positive polarity and this is the negative polarity, and the current is going to enter here, right? So for this device, this is the load. You can consider that the current is entering the positive polarity. So whenever the current is entering the positive polarity, you can call that it is a power delivered or power absorbed. You can consider any of this. Generally we use power absorbed. Okay, so what I want to say here is, when the current is entering the positive terminal of the load, this is the load, let's consider. When the current is entering the positive polarity of the load or positive polarity of some device, we mention it as a generalized device. When the current enters the positive polarity of your device, then you can call that this is going to be a load where the power is being absorbed. So P is equal to plus into VI, where P will be equal to greater than 0. This is for power absorbed condition. Okay, so if the current enters the positive polarity, you can call it as a power absorbed. Similarly, you can see here, when the current is leaving the positive polarity, you can call that as a power supplied. Okay, so in that case, the P will be considered as minus V into I. Is that clear? So when the current enters the positive polarity, you will be considering it as a supply, you will be considering it as a load where it will consume some power to perform some work. Whereas if the current enters the positive polarity, then you can call that it is a source or, oops, sorry. When the current is leaving the positive polarity, then you can call that as a source where the power is being supplied by the device which is available here. Okay, very simple thing, whether the current is entering the positive or negative. So if the current is entering the positive, it is a load. If the current is leaving the positive terminal, then it is a source. Okay, so this is very simple thing. So here you can see that the current is leaving the negative polarity. Okay, if the current is leaving the negative polarity, obviously it should have entered the positive polarity, right? Only if it has entered the positive polarity, it can move out of this negative polarity. Then also you can call it as a load or power absorbed or power consumed. So here you can see that the current is entering the negative polarity. So if you see that the current is entering the negative polarity, then you can consider that this is as a source. Is that clear? So here we have explained with simple explanation. So here we are having 5 volt. The current is entering the positive polarity. So 5 into 1, that is equal to 5 watts for this circuit. And this circuit, the current is leaving the negative polarity. So we have considered 5 into 1, that is 5 watts. Then this is called as power absorbed or power consumed or power delivered to this load. So here the current is leaving the positive polarity or the current is entering the negative polarity. For that we are considering P as negative, that is P is equal to minus 5 into 1 minus 5 watts. Okay, actually you can consider that here I have considered plus minus 5. Okay, instead of plus 5. Why I have considered like that is, see here, as per our previous discussion, if you are traveling this path, then we said it is a voltage rise. Okay, so whenever you are having a voltage rise, we will be mentioning the voltage in the negative value. Okay, why we are considering it as negative, that is not required for you because it is completely related to electrical engineering power. So that it's not required for you. You just understand that whenever there is a source for your system, you can consider the voltage as negative for finding this, for voltage rise and whether the power supplied or absorbed. Okay, so one thing is power is 5 watt. For all the circuits, the power is plus 5 watts, right? So when you are seeing it as plus 5 watts, here actually it is a power absorbed. This is a power absorbed, right? You can also say that the power supplied by this element is minus 5 watts, like how we had considered before for other current and voltage. If you mention it as power absorbed, it is the actual thing. Now you are representing it in the reverse way. You want to represent that as a power supply. When you want to take it as a power supply, you should represent it as minus 5 watt, minus 5 watt. So here you can say that load is absorbed 5 watts, or load is absorbing 5 watts, or the load is supplying minus 5 watts. Okay, actually in technical point of view it does not make sense. Just for namesake or just for representation you can mention like this. Okay, so similarly when you talk about power supply, if it is having the negative value, you can say that it is a supply. Okay, if it is a positive supply, if you want to mention, so either you can say that the source is supplying minus 5 watts, or in general you can also represent the load is the source is absorbing in the another way, means plus 5 watts. Okay, you can also represent like this. So these things you don't need to get confused. So if it is a load, it is going to absorb power or consume power. If it is a source, it is going to supply power. Okay, so generally for power supplied we will mention it as a negative value. For our power absorbed we are going to mention it as positive value. Okay, so if you are having n elements, let's say that you are having a source and you are having n number of elements connected in several combinations, series or parallel. So here let's say that this source is supplying 50 watts and this load is consuming 25 watts and this is also consuming 25 watts. Generally the supplied power will be equal to sum of the absorbing power. So sum of the power supplied should be equal to sum of the power absorbed. Okay. So why I am saying this negative is this you will use in the circuit. This you will be using the circuit. For example, for this circuit, if you want to mention the power supplied and power absorbed, here the load is going to absorb the power. I am going to mention the current direction like this. We will see in detail later on. So you are having some circuit like this. In this source is going to supply 50 watts, and this load 1 is going to consume 25 watts, and this load 2 is going to consume 25 watts. So you can either write sum of power is equal to 0. Sum of power is equal to 0. In that case, you have to mention this, or you have to use this convention. For power source, it should be minus 50. For loads, it will be 25 plus 25 equal to 0. If you write like this, then you have to mention the symbols properly. In case, if you want to mention power supplied is equal to power absorbed, you can directly write 50 is equal to 25 plus 25. Why I have written like this? This is obtained from this equation. Okay, this is the sum of power. In this, minus 50 is the power absorbed, and this plus 25 and plus this minus 50 is the power supplied, and this plus 25 and this plus 25 are the power absorbed. So I have mentioned power supplied is equal to power absorbed. Now, just I have taken this minus 50 to the other side, then I can write like this. Okay, so when you are directly writing power supplied is equal to power absorbed, you should not mention plus or negative sign. You should not mention negative sign. That's what I wanted to say. When you are writing on the same side, power supplied or the sum of powers, when you are representing in the sum of powers is equal to 0, then you should be very careful with the signs, plus sign or minus sign. You should be very careful when you are writing this signs. You always remember that the load is going to consume power and the supply is going to supply power. For supplying power, we are going to represent in negative for this kind of equation, and for load we are going to represent in positive sign for this kind of equation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have any doubt you can ask, so else we'll proceed further. So energy, so if you have found power, then obviously if with respect to time, if you add it, you will get energy, nothing else. Power into time, you will get the energy. That's what they have found. So this time you are reading it from some one time instant to another time instant. So for this time instance, how much power is being consumed by the particular device, you can call it as energy. In your home, whenever we are measuring or whenever we are paying bills, we are paying bills based on the energy we have consumed. We never talk about time, we never talk about power in our home. We always pay our electricity bill based on energy. Generally, they would be mentioning it as kilowatt hour. Okay, so based on this kilowatt hour only, you are going to pay the electricity bill. So any electrical equipment would be rated in power. Generally, any electrical equipment, if you have seen your iron box or if you have seen some electrical component, then they would mention two things mainly. One is voltage and another one is power. And if it is a AC device, then they would have mentioned frequency also. These three things would be available in most of the electrical equipment. Okay, so this three things, why they have mentioned there is this voltage is the maximum rated voltage. At this rated voltage, you can consume this much amount of power. If you consume this much amount of power at this voltage, you will be having the maximum proper efficiency. After that, if you are operating in some other condition, it may not work in the maximum efficiency point. That is one thing. Second thing is, This is the rated voltage. So if a device is mentioned as rated voltage, always you should not operate plus or minus 10% of the rated voltage. Your device is designed to operate effectively for only some certain voltage only some voltage value or voltage gap, you can say tolerance. So if your device is rated for 200 volt, let's say, then your device will work effectively for plus or minus 10% of this voltage. Generally they would be designing like this, means that if you are giving 220 volt to this device, it will work effectively, or if you give maximum 220 volt, it will work effectively, and minimum 180 volt, it will work effectively. Means that within this range only it is going to work properly. That's why they are mentioning this tolerance. If the voltage is going beyond the limit, sometimes it will affect the equipment, because all your equipments mostly will be having windings, the coils. Okay, so those coils are designed for some certain current magnitude. If the voltage is increasing, then the current will be increasing. Since the coils are designed for certain maximum rated current, this coil may get affected. So because of that, there is a possibility for your device to get burnt. Okay, so where they have mentioned this voltage, power, or frequency or tolerance, they would have mentioned in a plate kind. They would have used a simple plate. In that, they would have mentioned what is the voltage, what is the power or current. So that plate is called as nameplate details. Okay, in your fan also you can check, or in your iron box you can see it on the behind. Even in your charger you can see where you in the adapter or charger, you can see they would have mentioned the voltage and current, right? Similarly they would have mentioned the frequency also. So those things are called as nameplate details. So you should operate your device only within that particular range. If you operate it beyond that range, then your device may not work properly. That is the first thing. And the second thing is your device may get affected permanently. Okay, so that's why they have given the nameplate details. You should always operate the device very effectively. Okay, so I think we can wind up the class now. So it's fine. So the next class will be on Tuesday, first hour, that is 9 to 10. That I told I will take the regular classes on that Tuesday hour. So if you want to ask anything, or if you have any doubt, you can ask, else we can wind up the meeting.
Sir,
Yes,
sir, will you please upload these notes on MS Teams?
of course I will upload.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, then happy Diwali. If you do not have any doubt, you can leave. The class is over now.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Diwali,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
happy
sir.
Diwali. Happy holidays. I think you will be having 5 days leave. So enjoy your holidays.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you, sir.